Bienvenidos a Soy Talentoso Macabro Podcast. Yo soy Ali.
Y yo soy Dee.
Y hoy Dee nos contará de un caso que sucedió en Bakersfield, California.
In July 2004, 17-year-old Amanda Lee Zubia disappeared without a trace. One moment she was going about her day, and the next day she was gone. Her family reported her missing immediately, and what followed was desperate search across Bakersfield. Days filled with fear, uncertainty, and a haunting question. Where was Amanda? When answers finally came, they were nothing short of horrifying. The cruelty, the betrayal, and the devastating truth about who was involved. This is the tragic case of Amanda Lee Zubia.
Advertencia: la información de este caso puede ser desencadenante para algunos. Tenga en cuenta que algunos de estos casos pueden involucrar menores de edad, abuso, violación o violencia. Escuchen con precaución.
Warning: the information on this case can be triggering to some. Please be advised that some of these cases may involve children, abuse, rape, and violence. Listen with caution.
No one should ever suffer the way Amanda suffered.
But not one of them had any ounce of compassion or any heart to stop what they were doing. I can't even imagine all the pain and the horror she felt. I didn't want to accept that they found her body.
And the fact that they took pictures, how does that show remorse when you took pictures of what you did? It almost shows pride in what you did.
The fact that my cousin's gone, she's forever in the grave and she's, never coming back. She never gets a second chance. I don't feel like her murderer or any other murderer should get a second chance.
Amanda Lee Zubia was born on March 8th, 1987, and she was one of those people you couldn't help but notice. She was this way about making you feel like you were the only one. She was very charismatic. She would crack jokes and she would tease you and she would just listen to you. She was very accommodating and you can just feel her presence as just being very genuine. She was obsessed with Selena Quintanilla. She even attended the Selena lookalike contest in Bakersfield, even though she wasn't a huge fan of J-Lo, which made me laugh when I read her obituary. They needed to clarify that she was not a fan of J-Lo. Even as a young mom, Amanda still had that teenage energy. She loved hanging out with her friends, going to the mall, talking on the phone for hours, and making sure her nails, her hair, and makeup were always perfect. She took many pictures and she looked absolutely stunning. But most importantly, she took pictures with her son, who was literally her whole world. She captured photos of them together all the time. And it was just so adorable to see them and how much they were together mostly all the time. She dreamed of becoming a beauticianist, or a social worker. She also rooted for the Dallas Cowboys and talked about visiting Texas one day. She was vibrant, funny, stylish, and above all, an amazing mom. So to know that someone would do something completely heinous to her seems completely terrifying. Amanda had a way of making friends very easily. And in 2004, she grew close to a young woman named Crystal De Leon. They had both met at a teen mother program because they were both teenage moms. They bonded quickly over sharing experiences of motherhood and became inseparable. But things began to change when Amanda discovered that Crystal, along with her cousin Erika Lasalde, were involved in selling drugs. Concerned, Amanda confided to her grandmother and told her everything that was happening. On July 14th, 2004, 17-year-old Amanda was lured to Crystal's rental home in East Bakersfield by Maricruz Galaviz. according to like different reports, it's not sure on what pretenses she lured her into the home. We just know that she was the main person to bring her to Crystal's home.
And Erika was Crystal's cousin?
No,
Amanda?
She was Amanda's cousin.
Amanda's cousin.
She was Amanda, but they all were like in a group of friends. And they were all teenage moms. So they all kind of bonded with the fact that they were all teenage moms. And they were around the same age. So it was very, very common to see them hang out together. Once Amanda arrived, she was never seen again. Her family immediately filed a missing persons report and searched tirelessly across Bakersfield, until just days later, their search ended in tragedy. Once Amanda was inside the home, Maricruz Galaviz and Antonia Salazar attacked her, punching and gagging her, then tying her with an electric cord before dragging her into the home's shed that's outside. Inside the shed, she was surrounded by 3 more people. It was Roberto Vallejo, Crystal de Leon, which was her friend, and Erika Lasalde, who was her cousin. Testimonies later revealed the horrifying truth. Amanda was tied, gagged, tortured for hours. She was beaten, kicked, and burned with cigarettes. They struck her with an extension cord and cut her hair. They spat in her face and forced plastic bags down her throat. At one point,
that was torture. That's horrific.
Yeah.
It was one thing after another.
It was, and this happened for hours. So it was one thing or another or another. At some point, they used a second bag that was coated in insect repellent to suffocate her. By the second day, Roberto Vallejo told the other girls that Amanda needed to be killed, fearing that she would go to the police. They beated her one final time, then stuffed her, still alive, into a suitcase, bound it and compressed. Amanda tragically died of suffocation. Her body was placed in a car, and Robert and Antonia drove off within it. It's still unsure who was in the car. Some say that it was Robert and Antonia. Some say it was Maricruz and Antonia. But it was definitely 2 of the individuals that were within the home. Days later, the group tried to hide what they had done. They placed the suitcase inside a gasoline barrel and poured wet cement to cover it. And then they dropped in the suitcase and filled the rest with more cement. The barrel sat in Crystal de Leon's garage until neighbors began to complain about the foul odor. Police were called, and when they searched the garage, they discovered the cement-filled barrel with Amanda's decomposed body inside. When Amanda's family were told about the news, they also learned the devastating truth. Her own cousin, Erika, and her so-called friend, Crystal, had been part of her murder. During questioning, Crystal agreed to plead to a plea deal in exchange to lighten her sentence. She was only 17 years old at the time of Amanda's murder, and she was also the youngest one in the group. And authorities believe that she was the least involved within the crime, basically only providing the home and a few, hits that she had given Amanda. Prosecutors wanted her to testify and help convict the others, so they allowed her to get the plea deal of a juvenile. This meant she wouldn't be tried as an adult, and her sentence would be significantly reduced. Crystal identified everyone involved, leading to the arrest of 19-year-old Robert Vallejo, 27-year-old Maricruz Galaviz, 33-year-old Antonia Salazar, and 19-year-old Erika Lasalde. According to speculation, Amanda's murder stemmed from accusations that she had stolen a bag of meth from Crystal. The people supplying the drugs allegedly ordered Robert, Maricruz, and Antonia to get rid of her body, or of her in general. Crystal and Erica were reportedly no part of the original plan, but were threatened and forced to participate. Before his court date, Robert Vallejo was facing murder charges, but was beaten to death in a holding facility. What investigators believe was related to the alleged crime. According to different testimonies, they said that, people in jail were looking for him to kill him based on the tragic death that happened to Amanda and based on the crime that he committed to her. Also, because he had passed away in prison, the whole testimony was based around making him the main culprit of the case in order for them to kind of have like a hold of what happened. Instead of trying to put things together, they just blamed everything on Robert.
Oh, wow.
And mind you, he was only 19 years old, while Maricruz was 27 and Antonia was 33. So they were the oldest ones, and yet everything was blamed on Robert. In December 2004, Maricruz and Antonia were each sentenced to 25 years to life for Amanda's murder. Maricruz remains in prison while Antonia later died in custody. So as of now, 2 of them passed away while in custody, and Maricruz is still in prison for the murder.
Did Antonia die like natural causes? Or
I tried looking for stuff, but it doesn't. Nobody says. It just says that she died in prison. Okay. There was no details in regards to how she passed away. Erica, on the other hand, received a 7-year sentence for 1 count of assault with a deadly weapon causing great bodily injuries. Court documents revealed that she wasn't present on the day that Amanda was killed. But on the first day, she forcefully kicked Amanda in the head, causing severe fractures to Amanda's face. Amanda's family says that Erica is now married with children. Crystal de Leon also received a 25-year to life sentence. But because she accepted the plea deal, and because she was tried as a minor, she was released upon her turning 25 years old, which means she only served 7 years in jail. Beyond that, there's no current whereabouts of what happened to Crystal as of her release.
I cannot imagine what this family feels knowing that Erica is out there and she's living her life.
Yeah, and mind you, that she's family, so that's her cousin.
Exactly, yeah.
So they get to see like her live her life while Amanda tragically passed away. And what hurts more for them is that, they had to bury Amanda while seeing Erica just be happy and married and have children, while they were, dealt with having to bury Amanda, having to relive every single part of this case when, the anniversaries approach, or when, Maricruz is like trying to, find parole, or any situation, it for them, it's still hard to go through that. And now, Amanda's son is like in his early 20s, and now they have to kind of have him grow up and having to see him suffer through the consequences of his mom being murdered the way she did.
And him having to read all of this and see everything, the details and everything that happened, that's so heartbreaking. Creció sin su mamá.
Yeah. On April 17th, 2024, the California Board of Parole granted parole to 47-year-old Maricruz Galaviz, who had served 20 years for the murder of Amanda. So she didn't even
serve the 25.
Serve the 25 before applying for parole. According to the the state board, Maricruz is considered to be a, quote, low risk of offending and, quote, gained an insight into her behavior. So what they're trying to say is that based on her good behavior in prison, that she's fully rehabilitated to get released. Amanda's cousin, Savina Garcia, told Eyewitness News, quote, "It's not humane, it's immoral. It just brings up all kinds of pain. It's like we were having to relive what we went through 20 years ago, and it's just not right." In response to Zubia's family and friends, they began to process the challengings of the decision for the parole. They urged the public to contact Governor Gavin Newsom, asking him to intervene and prevent Maricruz's release. On July 16th, 2025, so just a few weeks ago, Governor Gavin Newsom had reversed the parole decision for Maricruz. While acknowledging her positive efforts towards rehabilitation, the governor stated that it wasn't enough to ensure the public's safety. In a press conference, he wrote, quote, "I have determined that Ms. Galvez must do some additional work and deepen her insight and self-awareness into the causative factors of the crime before she can be safely released. As a result, Maricruz Galvez will not be eligible for another parole hearing until October 2026, so approximately 18 months from now. Amanda Lee Zubia's life was stolen in ways that both is senseless and cruel. In the decades since her murder, her family has carried the weight of her loss, grieving not only the future she never had, but the trust that was shattered when those closest to her turned against her. Amanda was more than the way she died. She was a daughter. She was a cousin, a mother, a granddaughter, a friend. And while her story is marked by tragedy, it is also marked by the fierce love of a family who refuses to let her be forgotten. This is a tragic case of Amanda Lee Zubia.
The more she stays, the better for us. Yeah, there would never be enough justice. The justice for me is that she stays behind bars and remember what she did to our family and what she did to Amanda, and that she never forgets.
Thankful to the community, too, for coming together with us and sending in their petitions and sending in their letters.
I'm just devastated. I'm still devastated. I pray for Amanda every day. I pray for her soul, that her son grows up and this doesn't affect him, but it already has affected him.
Her being rehabilitated is not going to bring my niece back, and it's not going to bring the mother, Daniel, back. So at some point, there has to be a punishment for that. 20 years is not long enough to be punished for someone that can never come back.
The parole hearing about 2-3 years ago as well. Did you guys go to that hearing?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Did she speak at all during that hearing?
Yeah, she spoke, but she never really gave a reason why this happened. She didn't show any remorse at all.
I really miss Amanda. I wish I had a chance to see her, and I just don't think she deserved it through all the things she went through, and I just really miss her, and I'm happy to have my family by my side.
And that was the case for this week. Our hearts go out to Amanda's family, her friends, her community, and her son Daniel, as well as her granddaughter, because now she is a grandmother to I think she was a 4-year-old, but I could be wrong about that. So now she's a grandmother, and her granddaughter looks, sounds, acts, and is just completely Amanda. And it's hard for them to see that Amanda never got the chance to enjoy being a mother, let alone being a grandmother now. So our hearts go out to the family, to the friends, and whoever was affected by this case. I did see a lot of forums about Amanda's case and about what happened, and it really affected Bakersfield, and it still like has this powerful connection to the community, and thankfully, based on the signings and the letters that were sent to Gavin Newsom by the people in the community, they were able to, tell him that they don't want her to be released, to see Mari Cruz be released.
Right.
So, we're thankful for the community and for her family for keeping the story alive on Amanda.
Well, especially the ones that were older, like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
they knew what was happening. And that was like the big part of the case where a lot of them were like, oh, they didn't know what they were doing. But it's like, no, they were like in their 20s and in their 30s. Like they knew what they were doing and this wasn't right. And they still went along with it, And there was no remorse.
I guess like if it had to do with
to them.
If it had to... Oh, sorry, like your connection went out, so I didn't know you were talking. Sorry.
That's okay.
No, I was just saying, like, I guess, because if it is what they were saying, que era porque ella se robó las drogas, it's still not justifiable to do something like that to someone. But if they were being harassed and, like, threatened, if they didn't do something to her, I guess for them it was like, well, it's her life or ours, which is still not right. I'm not justifying that. That's still not okay.
Yeah.
Because they're older. They knew what they were doing, and there's no reason to kill someone the way that they did it. It was
especially the way that
horrific.
they did it was completely
they made her suffer.
horrifying. It's
they
like
made her suffer.
If whoever sent you to murder Amanda because of stealing a bag of meth, like, why torture her in this way?
Right.
Like she didn't deserve to be treated the way that she did and humiliated and tortured in such horrifying ways. So to see them do this to her was very, very tragic and very painful, because even the family, they couldn't even have like an open casket to like bury her. Like they had to have a closed casket and remember her through like photos and like things that they had of her, and it's sad because this girl, this young teenager, was taken away for something so insignificant,
so dumb.
Yeah,
and we don't even know if it's true, right? We don't even know if it's true that ella se la robó, because it doesn't make sense with the way you were describing her in the beginning, and for her to reach out to her grandmother and be like, hey, Erica and Krista are doing this. And then she goes and steals it, like, and she was trying to be a mom, like, you know, a good role model for her kid and raising her kid and doing everything for her kid. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
why she will steal that.
There wasn't any like concrete court documents in regards to what happened, so the public still doesn't know. Yeah. So it just sucks, and a lot of people that were protesting this parole were like, the system failed Amanda. The system failed her and just kind of wanted an easy end to her story and didn't really
just blame Robert
through. And just blamed the one that got murdered in order for them to kind of just hurry the case up.
Just to close it off.
And it's just sad because she didn't deserve to just be like another person that died. Like she was tortured and murdered and she deserves to be respected. So our hearts go out to the family and friends and anybody affected by it. But if you have any information regarding this case or any details in regarding to this case, you can leave us a comment or a DM on our social media platforms. We have TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, or X as it's known now, Blue Sky. Just type in @SVSM_podcast. And you can leave us a comment there, leave us a tweet, leave us a reply, and we'll get to it as soon as we can. And if you have Facebook, we're on Facebook as well. Just type in Seguimos Macabro Podcast and our Facebook should pop up. We also have our YouTube channel where you can see the visual of this podcast on our YouTube. You just type in at SVSM_podcast or type in Seguimos Macabro Podcast and our YouTube channel should pop up. You can subscribe, leave comments, like our videos, and it would really help. We're currently at 114 subscribers, so that's pretty cool. We literally started that account from 0, so that's pretty awesome to have a few listeners in there. We really appreciate it. And let's see. If you want to listen to the rest of our catalog, you can go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you stream podcasts. Just type in Seguimos Macabro Podcast, and our catalog should pop up. And if you can't find that catalog anywhere in the streaming site that you listen to, please let us know. We will gladly add our, podcasts on those platforms. Just let us know, and we can go ahead and do that. But yeah, if you can, please subscribe, like, review, all those good things. It would really help us increase our ranking when it comes to podcasts and share these tragic stories with people and continue their legacy and continue their stories and have more people acknowledge them and get to know these people for who they were and not for what happened to them. And receive the justice that they so desperately deserve. So that would be wonderful.
Trying to give voice to.
Yeah, give voice to the voiceless.
Yeah.
So if you have any suggestions on any further cases, please let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us a comment. We would gladly love to cover it, and it'll give us options on what to cover. So yeah, I think that's about it on my end. Yeah, do you have anything to say?
No.
That
was it. Just thank you all for the support.
Thank you so much all for the support. Yes. It's August officially. It's still hot as hell outside. So keep hydrated, keep your pets inside, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, nos vemos la próxima semana.
Yeah, see you next week.
Send us messages, say hi to us.
Yes, please. And if you have suggestions on merch, let us know too. But until then, we'll see you guys next week. And stay spooky.
Adios.
Bye.